Live from Music City, this is Nashville's News 2 at 10.
Unbelievable video of a series of blasts that followed a tanker truck explosion. That explosion you see here in West Nashville could be seen for miles. Now here's what it looks like on the scene tonight. Thankfully, no one was hurt, but there are questions about what happened. Good evening. I'm Eric Egan.
And I'm Samantha Fisher. That tanker truck overturned just after 12:30 this afternoon.
And here's where things stand tonight. The Nashville Fire Department is still cleaning up the scene. We know some gasoline and diesel leaked into the stormwater drainage system, but drinking water is 100% safe. Several schools near this explosion were put on lockdown. Tonight, the school district tells us everything will be back to normal tomorrow. The driver of the tanker truck, 33-year-old Jason Frizzell of Cookville, he was able to get out of the truck and he was released from the hospital not long ago.
The situation today was dangerous for not just that truck driver, but those responding to the scene as well.
And we have live team coverage from the spot the truck blew up at 61st Avenue North and Centennial. Our Andy Cordan tells us about people rushing to help others in all this, including one of our own here at News 2. But we begin with Nick Calloway, who learned there's already an effort in that neighborhood to maybe prevent an incident like this from happening. Nick.
Yeah, guys, this area has been pretty hectic all day, obviously, and caught in the middle of it all is a residential neighborhood. And the people that live here tell me that they've been worried about something like this happening for a very long time. At the end of the day, there wasn't much left of the tanker truck that exploded, except burned up rubble and the stench of diesel fuel. It happened in a neighborhood called The Nations, an area where industrial meets residential.
We have been in heavy discussions for at least the last 5 years with Public Works, trying to get the tanker trucks off of 51st.
Liz Parrott is with the Neighborhood Association. She says as more people move in, changes are necessary to ensure safety. The group would like to bring part of 51st Avenue North down to 2 lanes and drop the speed limit. They'd also like to restrict the nearby tanker trucks from traveling that way. Wednesday's tanker truck explosion highlights the group's cause, and neighbors are just glad it didn't happen closer to their homes.
People walking their dogs, walking their kids, heavy pedestrian traffic on 51st now. And this could have been extremely catastrophic and devastating on that street.
Within the last couple of hours, the wreckage of that tanker has been removed, but as you can see, there's still a pretty big mess still left to be cleaned up here on Centennial Boulevard. So this stretch of the roadway is still closed tonight. Eric, Sam, I know you can't smell it through the TV, but it still smells like diesel fuel out here tonight. Reporting live, Nick Calloway, back to you guys in the studio.
I can imagine so. Thank you, Nick. Well, with the tanker explosion and the smaller ones that followed, it's really amazing that nobody was hurt in this.
It really is. That includes our own News 2 family members, first on the scene, and one of them shot the most incredible video of the day. Our Andy Cordan continues our live team coverage with this part of the story.
Well, guys, you know, news people, we get out to these things and we don't have helmets or badges or guns, that kind of thing. But when things break, we're often there first. And that was the case today for our News 2 friend, Ken Wilson. Check this out. This is the scene in West Nashville around 1 o'clock.
Look at that flame.
Fire is gurgling out of the street.
All you can smell is the gas.
Smoke is billowing into the air. And manhole covers blowing up?
Yeah, they blew 10, 15 foot in the air.
Resident Josh Ham cannot believe what he's seeing in front of his Louisiana Avenue home.
It's like World War III out here.
It's then that 30-year news veteran Ken Wilson arrives.
The News 2 guy pulled up, got out of his car. I said, "Get back in your car. You need to leave."
Wilson heeds the warning and backs up about half a block. Moments later, the Channel 2 cameraman zooms in to the very spot where he had almost parked. It's approximately 1 minute later when Wilson captures this astounding moment. Watch again. That's a metal manhole cover, flipping through the air like a coin. Wilson can feel the blast, but he's not hurt, thanks in no small part to Josh Ham. He would have been there had you not said you got to back it up.
That's right.
Is that right?
That's right.
Do you feel like maybe you saved this man's life?
I do in a way, but it was just the right thing to do, I guess.
Wilson knows he dodged a bullet. I call him so he and Mr. Ham can speak.
Without you, I probably would have ended up very differently. So thanks a lot.
You're welcome, brother.
And Kenny told me in the newsroom that's probably the closest in 30 years he's ever come to getting seriously hurt. And guess what, Kenny? I think you might have just won an Emmy. We're live out here in West Nashville. Back to you guys in the studio.
Thank you so much, Andy. Just want to show you a few more pictures. This may have been what you saw today, just a huge plume of black smoke. You could see this for miles today. We also have a closer up picture here from this Shell gas station. Notice, by the way, the drivers that have pulled off to the side of the road. You can only imagine at that point what they must have been thinking, seeing that smoke up ahead of them. Emergency responders on the scene right away. There was a fire house just a few blocks away from where this happened. So we understand that some witnesses didn't even need to call 911. They just ran right into the firehouse and told them what was going on. But it's this picture right here. Andy Cordan just showed you Josh Ham running from the scene. By the way, this right here is the manhole cover. Those gas vapors seeped into sewage drains, and then the resulting explosion blew off these manhole covers. By the way, those are 80 to 300 pounds. So just to give you an idea of the force of those explosions. And once again, we're so happy tonight for the safety of our own Ken Wilson. Be sure, by the way, and stay with the News 2 on air and online for updates on this tanker explosion. We'll let you know just how soon things are going to get cleaned up.
New at 10, Nashville Fire Chief Charles Shannon confirms to News 2 a group of firefighters is now under investigation. Those firefighters are being investigated to see if they followed protocol regarding a gunshot patient. We're told that victim was pronounced dead, but he really was not deceased, and the chief didn't know if that victim later died. The department says so far no disciplinary action has been taken. A new video tonight of the Broadway community honoring actor and comedian Robin Williams. You can see here the marquee lights along the Great White Way are dim. They were dimmed for 1 minute. Williams had been on Broadway several times, and most recently as a tiger ghost in 2011's Bengal Tiger at the Baghdad Zoo.
Well, since 6, we've learned state election officials are almost done reviewing provisional ballots in Tennessee's 4th congressional district. They only have 3 counties left to go, and it has been a nail-biter. Today, Congressman Scott Desjardins picked up 4 votes, and his Republican challenger, State Senator Jim Tracy, who you just saw a second ago, he got 2. So a mere 37 votes still gives Desjardins the lead. Now, once eligibility is confirmed, the vote is tallied. Tracy's campaign tells us that's when a decision will be made whether they will request a recount.
Another ceasefire interrupted by airstrikes. The Israeli military said it targeted, quote, terror sites in Gaza. This happened early Thursday morning. Israel said at least 5 rockets were launched toward them before this happened. Both sides would not say this will ultimately unravel the attempt of a long-term ceasefire.
New information tonight on the controversial shooting death of a Missouri teenager, Michael Brown. Police are on the scene as more protests are underway tonight in St. Louis. A prosecuting attorney says there's no timetable for the investigation, but it could take a couple of weeks. He also says all evidence in this case would become public. The officer involved has not been charged, and his name has not been released. Well, explosions caused major damage out on a local lake. This is video a viewer sent in through our iReport 2 network. A houseboat was fueling up at Edgar Evans Marina out on Center Hill Lake. This happened around noon today, and somehow it sparked an explosion. It destroyed the houseboat. A fireboat was able to put it out quickly, and nobody was hurt.
Well, country fans, Kenny Rogers fans, this next story is for you.
The Country Music Hall of Fame is paying tribute to the gambler with a new exhibit.
I know how much we've had.
Almost want to let it keep going.
I know.
It's fittingly called Kenny Rogers Through the Years. The museum is stocked top to bottom with Kenny Rogers memories and souvenirs, but it almost wasn't. Today, Kenny said that he's not a saver or a keeper. Instead, he shares the credit for making the exhibit possible.
It was really fun for me. I came here and I kind of walked through, and I was very impressed with the details of what they had done. And we have 2 girls that have been to 1,100 shows, and they contributed a lot of the stuff they had saved.
He has loyal fans and collectors. Of course, he sounds pleased, so go see it for yourself. The exhibit opens Friday, August 15th, and it's going to run through next June.
Some good stuff in there, too. There is. Well, there are a lot of reasons people build fences.
To keep animals in, people out, or even decoration. But you might be surprised the reason behind this Coke can fence in East Nashville. What's happening around him that is keeping him building.
It feels great out there tonight. A+ weather, 71 degrees. Relative humidity, that looks high, but it's nighttime, so that's normal, and just a light wind. Tomorrow morning, when you head out the door, a little bit on the cool side. 6 o'clock, about 59 degrees, still right around 60 at 7, 62 at 8, so a nice cool start to your Thursday morning. But we're going to take a peek ahead to the weekend. It's going to feel more like summertime then.
These boys say a trailer filled with Cub Scout stuff was allegedly stolen from this parking lot, and they want it back.
Please help us. Yeah, please.
More from the boys coming up right after the break.
Tonight, some local scouts are learning a hard lesson. You see, these young people make it a point to put others first. But while they're working on being selfless, they're forced to face a selfish act. Their trailer, full of irreplaceable valuables, was apparently stolen. New at 10, our Talia Kaplan spoke to those boys and has their public plea.
Why do you think they would do it? I had no idea.
Ryan and Daniel Stevens are Cub Scouts learning about integrity, honor, trust, and as of Tuesday, something else.
There are a lot of bad people in the world.
Someone stole the Cub Scout trailer filled with things the Scouts use all the time. And get this, it was taken from the Faith Life Church parking lot in Antioch.
Lots of stuff we need for campouts is in that. I'm upset because I don't know why someone would want to take that stuff.
Most of the things inside the trailer are sentimental to Pack 924 in Antioch. There's this handcrafted Arrow of Light board. It's the top award in Cub Scouting. It takes 5 years to earn. And this flag, it had 12 years of awards on it.
It means a lot to me.
The Cub Scout promise includes duty to God and country, but even Old Glory was stolen.
Since we don't have our flag, I guess we're just gonna have to pledge to empty space.
But Cub Master John Stevens says there's no need to worry. He has a loaner for now.
We'll budget out the next several years to start replacing items in there.
Meantime, he's asking everyone to consider the oath his young members take by helping others and obeying the law of the pack.
We could get the hand-carved pieces and our flags and everything back so we could show the boys, hey, there are good people who want to help us. It would be phenomenal.
In Antioch, Talia Kaplan, News 2 at 10.
Faith Life Church, where the trailer disappeared, is stepping up security. They have guards and more lights on the property. If you would like to help the Scouts, we have that information for you on our website. Well, tonight, an East Nashville man is using thousands of soda cans to try to make a difference.
This is why. New construction is changing his neighborhood, so he's doing it to convey an important message. Glenn Woods built the soda can fence on his family's property. They've owned it since 1916. Builders bought his parents' old home on the other side of his property. But he says it'll be torn down and replaced with more new construction. He's not happy about it.
I'm just having fun. They might think I'm protesting, but I'm having fun. But I guess I could be, I don't know.
As we found out last night, these things aren't illegal. Woods tells News 2 he hasn't heard any complaints from neighbors. Tonight we checked with the city, but have not gotten an answer if this fence violates any code.
A lot of 7-Up in that fence.
We know what he likes to drink.
Yeah. Well, it's Guitars and Barbecue, also known as Guitarbecue.
Try that. I'm not. It brought out some big names and good food tonight, and it's all for a good cause. Billy Currington hit the stage at Losers in Midtown. Other big names there tonight include Eric Pasley and Tyler Farr. The show is going on until 11 tonight, so you still have time to go check it out. Money raised goes to St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital in Memphis.
And for all those people out in Midtown tonight, boy, does it feel great out there.
It's wonderful outside. How long will the humidity stay away, though? Probably not long, right, Lisa?
Not long enough, but it is August after all, and it's nice just to get this little break. We'll take it out there tonight, 71 degrees in Nashville. Look at those 60s up to our north, and we've got dew points out there tonight in the 50s, about 59 degrees, so temperatures are able to drop pretty quickly this evening with the drier air mass, and it really felt good outside. Very little wind at this point. We had those nice northerly breezes today. It almost felt a little bit like fall, like September, more so than August. list. And overnight, I think many of us will have a chance to drop into the 50s. Now, up on the plateau, you might be looking at some mid, maybe even a couple of spots lower 50s. 56 in Cookeville and Clarksville by daybreak, 57 in Dixon, right at 59 degrees in Nashville. They may have, say, an official reading of 60 or 61 at the airport, but most of Davidson County is not right there on the tarmac, so your temperature may get just a little bit cooler. What about your Thursday? Still looks pretty good. We're in the cool 60s as we get into the 8 o'clock hour, up to about 85 degrees for your high temperature, so it warms up a little bit, but that's not bad for this time of year. We could easily be right at 90 degrees with high humidity like we were earlier this week. Good weather for man or beast. And check out this shot taken by Elizabeth Simmons over in Mount Juliet. A praying mantis here just looking right at her phone camera. You can see his little eyeballs there. That's a pretty good shot, I think. And there's a look at a shot from McMinnville sent to pics at WKRN.com of the pollen all over the bee there working on the flower. iReport 2 is a great place to send your photos and videos. And if you have the WKRN app, you can send them right from your cell phone. That's what they did. Temperature trend, low humidity again tomorrow will help us stay at about 85 degrees and feel pretty comfortable. But 89 on Friday, and we're talking about 90s and muggy weather coming back as we get into the weekend. As a matter of fact, Saturday still looks mainly dry, about 92 degrees. It's a pretty nice start in the morning, but hot in the afternoon. Sunday, we're back into the humidity, so scattered thunder showers in the midday time frame, about a 20% chance. We'll bump it up to about a 40% chance as we get into the later afternoon time frame. Here's a look at Storm Tracker right now. The radar sweep coming on around through southeastern Davidson County, Franklin into Brentwood, downtown. We've been dry all across the mid-state today, and we should keep it that way for a couple of days. Predictor shows a dry start tomorrow morning, maybe a few showers up in Kentucky, but nothing here. We're just way too dry for that. Very pleasant again tomorrow evening and Friday. We're off to a dry start. Predictor wants to paint a little bit of action, but I think the atmosphere is still a little too dry. A nice Thursday, 85 in Hermitage and downtown, 83 up in Whites Creek, down in Williamson County. You're looking at 85 in both Brentwood and Franklin, maybe 86 down in the Spring Hill area, and over in Murfreesboro, about 85 degrees for you there as well. So it is going to be quite comfortable, at least for this time of year. We warm it up Friday to 89 degrees, and there are those low 90s for the weekend. Once we get the humidity back in place, it looks like it stays around, and so do the scattered chances through the first of next week.
Well, it's one of the best things about living in Nashville, the food, specifically the barbecue.
I know what I'm having for lunch tomorrow, so who knows how to barbecue the best? We're counting the hot spots down in tonight's list. That's next.
Oh, God, I got to say it after all. We told you earlier about Guitar Barbecue tonight over in Midtown. Thank you.
Yeah, it's more about how it sounds and tastes, or more than it tastes and sounds. Anyway, let's get to this. That, of course, is Guitars and Barbecue for a Good Cause, and that made us pretty hungry and thinking about the best barbecue in Nashville. Here are the top 5 according to USA Today.
They don't even live here. We're going the whole country.
Well, you know we're food truck crazy, so this one's got to be on the list. Smoke It All. It's food truck. You might run into it around town.
I like the food trucks.
I do too.
Yes, you can run into it all over town.
Number 4, B and C. No, the C does not stand for Corey Melrose Barbecue, also known as bacon and caviar.
I like that.
Well, bacon's just the #1 ingredient in the world. It's a gourmet barbecue and catering service located just south of downtown.
Number 3 is Jim and Nick's Barbecue. It's a Birmingham-based chain, but very popular here as well.
Yeah, they're doing it well. Number 2 is Jack's Barbecue, which USA Today says gives Memphis Barbecue a run for its money.
And personally, I'm a big fan of this one. Coming in at number 1, Martin's Barbecue. It's featured on Food Network. It's also known as one of the prime venues in the city's restaurant scene. I don't know if the original is Nolensville, but they just built another one on Belmont, and we go there all the
What's
time.
their
One in
go-to?
Mount
They have
Juliet,
brisket,
Mount Juliet.
ribs, does it matter? Just anything?
Does it matter?
No.
Just slop it on there.
Yeah, just smoke it up.
I just eat it.
Smoke it all.
Yeah.
Well,
Emily's nearby is also very good.
Anybody who tried to barbecue at the Titans game Saturday had no luck at all, because it's still hard to forget Saturday night. Those fans won't, and yeah, I won't forget it either. First waterfall I've ever had in the broadcast booth. Why playing in a dome is so important in Game 2.
The river runs through it.
It'd be awesome to be able to put it in the air a little bit after, last weekend, and it's just tough. It's a tough circumstance and something that was outside all of our control.
Well, let's talk Titans now. Tomorrow they hit the road for New Orleans in preseason game number 2 with the Saints Friday night. This week the Titans are indoors, so there is no possibility of repeating the monsoon we saw Saturday at LP Field. Now the rain made the simplest things that much more challenging in the opener, and it made it very difficult to get any kind of true assessment of where this team is at.
Last week was really hard to evaluate as far as all that goes. I mean, it was an evaluation, but it wasn't what you would use normally as an evaluation. The field was, wasn't awful, but to evaluate somebody running a route or on a blocking assignment just because of the way the field was or even the way the defense was playing was a little bit difficult.